Like, and people are just not going to get that because most people they do not know shit about me. And to most people, they're going to listen. It's like Bury My Bones has been one of my favorites for, I don't know, months through, okay, since like last year, I found this song right after my pet died. I love this song. And I know that it's, to other people, like it's kind of morose and sad, but it makes me happy. But honestly, though, like when I die, if somebody doesn't play that at my services, I'm going to be a little pissed. I mean, I'm just saying. And for real, if you don't take the long way around with like a casket and some horses and take me to my spot, I'm a bit of a text. I love you guys. I need horses and I need like real tunes, lots of tunes. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, like, mm-mm. And also just inserting here, I need a party. Like I don't want no preaching shit. I don't want none of any of that. Like speak on my life, speak who I am. I don't want people to be like, oh, she was the best. Like tell the truth. But I'd rather have stories about like us. I don't care how fucking like don't edit that either. Don't edit them down. Don't water that shit down. But uh, Bury My Bones is one of my favorites. So yeah, but it makes other people like cry. To me, it's a happy thing, right? Anyway, but my music's always been a little strange, but it has nothing to do with fucking Voldemort, y'all. But if I go around listening to it right now, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, I can't." Not one little piece of me is, and I do go through stages every day. I'm not gonna lie, I go through stages of all kinds of shit, um, and different things, like from moment to moment. I mean, they obviously all hit certain centers, but in the strangest things, hit those places every day. But time is the only thing that can make that better. But I'm not like, like, hell no. But my music. So my music's been taken from me. Makes me a little angry. I can't listen to shit. And so, like, I'm left with, like, what, Barney? What am I supposed to do? I don't know what the fuck. Because I just don't feel that type of fucking, like, bullshit music that I don't like. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to listen to for other people around me aren't like, I just want my damn music. I'm gonna say fuck it. I want my ABBA and I want the Queen and I want, all my music has nothing to do with. And that really, truly is the most annoying thing on earth lately. It's irritating too because it makes me almost feel like Voldemort's ensured that even the music in my world is gone. Because to listen to it, everybody's gonna. And I really, that's the thing. Like, how in the fuck? I don't give a shit what people think, but ever, I give no fucks. But which is helpful in most situations. But right now, I don't need people all over small town Bill. Come on, look at her riding around blaring SOS by ABBA. Makes me happy. Has nothing to do with, nor do I think of and listen to. But if people hear it shit, guess what's going to happen? Then they're going to start running up to the car more. Like, I want fucking updates. And like people been doing from the beginning. It's like, have you seen Skank? Have you seen this? And oh my God, he's showing it off. Like, man, like any girl that would do that was, yeah, I don't hear it. I don't care. I obviously know what everything is, and I don't care. Please do not. So we all know ain't nobody in this small town spamming even with the meth bill it is and the crazy dope that like the low moral standards around here. Even they're like, holy shit, that's low. We all know. Anybody with any like so we all know. Just make eye contact with me. But don't come running up to me going, hey, because we all know. We all know. Like, it don't take a genius to figure out that. Regardless, I want my damn music. I don't know how to get my music. I don't know how to take my fucking music back. Small town bullshit. Alright. Gotta love it. And then, the second most annoying thing on earth currently. I don't know. They're fighting for number one position. No, there's three things. There's one and then the second most annoying thing on earth currently. I don't know. They're fighting for number one position. No, there's three things. There's one I'm gonna leave out. Yeah, there's one that takes the whole fucking cake. Places above the rest. But let me tell you, right now, 1 and 2 are struggling mightily. Y'all, the more the days go by, and for a few days, I thought, well, it's okay. I'm home. I feel better. I feel some peace. I feel, I don't know. Even though, the drive-bys, whatever's. But then the more it happens, and then dawns on me what the fuck's actually, so many things are there for me. Sorry. There's a very real pain. Whew. So what dawns on me as more calm settles despite, everything. Is less chaos and the move and everything slow down and then I got everything in box. You got time, right? You got time. And for me, maybe not. Regardless. What is dawning on me is it just can't be home for me. I can't come here either and ever be home. And here's why. And it too it has been taken by Voldemort. So what I thought I might have here and we could have here can't be. And the more the days go by, the more I'm struggling with what to do about that. And all I want to do is, look, he's taking it from me. us too. And that's part of what that is. The driving, the whatever, the cars like underwear, the bullshit. It's not just playing a game. I'm not playing or competing with some chick I didn't know I've been competing with for, because I ain't been. Won't be. There's no competition there. Like I said prior. But anyway, it's about the box. And the more the days go by, and the more I realize that's what it's about. The burning rage is real. And I'm trying so hard to temper it. Trying so hard. But I know it's about the box again. And it's hitting that center for me. So once again, I know that I'm in a box. At Voldemort's behest. I'm being done exactly like I was being done. He knows. And he knew from the get. That's the thing. Some of the last words to me. Oh dear. And I really am about to bust that fucking video out and just play it for the fucking world. Uh, what about me coming here? He knew where it would send me. Maybe. He thought anyway. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because for years he had turned everybody into flying monkeys and cut me off from everybody. But so maybe he was hoping I wouldn't even have that. I don't know. He didn't care at that point anyway. Like the cruelty is what mattered, and it wouldn't matter if the kids and I ended up on a fucking street corner somewhere, like starving to death. He wouldn't give a shit. Trust me. And Dad would have been best. That's the thinking there, and it's what Court and his family's lives and favors and shit are about too. This is the cruelty to continue it, the jerk off on it, and he was absolutely able to use that to do that. So anyway, but that's what this is about. It's about the box again. He knows where we are, and I'm in the box. We're in the box. He's put me in another goddamn box where he knows exactly where I'm at. And he has both things. He still has Jody Sue Ann. exactly like he's always had. Even when he's Jody Sue's raising those kids, Jody Sue's doing exactly what she's supposed to. Let's check her. Like, she can't get out of here. She can't. She's trapped. So I know exactly where she's at while I'm. And that's exactly what this is, too. Anytime, day, night, one call, one anything, doesn't even have to drive by. They know where the fuck I'm at. And that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I'm going, if I'm this, who I'm sick, like, Joyce is doing what she's supposed to do. She's raising the babies like she's always done. She's not out running amok. She's not out partying. She's not Joyce. In the burning rage I feel at that thought. Y'all, all I want to do right now is just go fill up my fucking car and run. Just want to run. And I've thought for a while that best anyway. But I can't. I don't think I can be here either. Not for a while. And I don't know what to do about that because he knows how. And I'm not even going to put it out there. But I've been formulating little plans in my head. Little things I can do to make sure that I can maybe jet for a while. Because I'm not going to be put in the goddamn box again. Nor are they. Mm-mm. So I just. I know that maybe doesn't make sense to a lot of people. I don't know. But it does to us. You know, I can't be in a box again. Not one to where it's, you know, like I literally cannot just. And that's what it's meant to take from it, right? That's what it's meant to do. Always. That's what it's always going to ensure. And I can't. Not again. And I don't know what to do about that currently. But I promise you, I am going to figure something out with that. Because Nope. Can't. Can't do it. I can't do it. Not one more day of my life. Not one more day of theirs. It's a goddamn monster. Just another box where it always knows where the fuck is always going to keep an eye on it. Like, it's just, I can't do it. And the thought makes me so mad, so sick to my stomach. But the more it dawns on you, right? I'm in another damn box. It's another trap. It's another way to just have the same thing already had. Always. Just, hmm. So, for right now, um, I feel a little better. Uh, so, for right now, um, I feel a little better. Um, and you can see how drastically things can change in just hours or with some rest, including my speech and things like that. Um, I mean, I don't look fucked up, which is what most people think, but no, that's how bad I feel when spells come on and or I'm starting to feel bad. And what you saw last night is not even me my worst on 3 out of 7 days a week at minimum. Um, so you know, but I mean that's how drastic the changes are. I can go from, and I'm sure that's why a lot of people think what they think. But but that's how drastic it is. Right now, I still feel queasy, bad, still coughing, had issues through the night, through the day. But for right now, this moment, I'm not as down as I was. However, I can tell you within the next few hours, because of my energy levels right now will deplete and I'll end up back to the same spot. But yeah, that's how it is. Like I can be doing fine, or at least remotely, or able to hide it better. It's like right now. What you don't see is that half of my face is numb. In a way that like, I don't know, but that side is numb, and my head's pounding, and it feels like like I'm having a stroke. I'm not in my head. But for me, because I'm used to small stuff like that, it's I'm able to hide it, um, whatever. But I can tell you from what I feel right now that the next few hours, but a little bit of feel good is happening right now will go downhill quickly. And so I know from right now within a few hours that I mean I only have a small window of space because of how I feel currently. Um and it's hard to um I don't know to help others understand that, or when they hear me stutter, or because that happens when I'm real tired, or and the nerves and things have been cut. I mean, just certain centers are hit by certain stuff. Anyway, so let me tell you about the most annoying thing on earth currently, though. No, not just currently. Since the beginning of this bullshit. Oh dear. So, here's the deal. From the beginning of this, I've been unable to listen to music really, at least not much, unless it's near kids and, whatever. I've not been able to share music, go around blaring it wherever I'm at. I can't, have the 5-minute drive to myself and then the music and whatever else, because especially around here, no matter where the fuck I pull into, right? It's always somebody knows and somebody small town. Not only do you have them running up with updates, you've got everything else happening. But and obviously, right? And then Voldemort working in what he thinks is the dark, Y'all just don't even know. Apparently, the other night, got sketched out and ran over somebody's foot while making some dirty ass deals in the parking lot because he thought they were somehow working for me and tried to jet the fuck out of there. And I don't even know this person. Let me make it clear. And it come back third hand, and probably never would have had the Voldemort not been so weird. But now I know that Voldemort is doing exactly what I thought Voldemort's been doing the whole time. But to run over somebody's fucking foot trying to get away because they thought they were working for me. The fucking paranoia is real, man. Anyway, I'm just spare me. But in the meantime, Voldemort's running around, when Cole's song and Bell's singing around, running up to everybody and how was she? How was this? How was... But then putting on a show for others, or when it's super up to something, it doesn't still want me to hear. He's running over people's feet trying to get the fuck away. It's kind of what happens when everything has been in the darkness and hid, and you've been on shit. I guess maybe don't be that person. And they still act like I give more of a fuck than I'll ever give. Whatever. Everything done in darkness will come to light. And I don't give a fuck about it anymore. That darkness ain't mine, nor is it light. I want it to go the fuck away. Anyway, so back on topic. So I can't go anywhere listening to music right now. And let me tell you why. I really need my music. I really want my music, right? Anybody. And I'm always, regardless of the situation, whether it's, even if there's no situation happening, right? I'm a music person. Just, isn't everybody? But I'm really music. Gotta have it to live, breathe, survive. So, I can't even, listen to shit. Okay? Listen to my kids who get it. They know that I'm not. My playlist, it's say, I'm going through my music, and it's stuff like ABBA, SOS, and Seven Bridges Road, and, and last night, there's so many, things to listen to, that one song, Fire Away. I really like that song. And then there's this new one I found, Bed on Fire or something by somebody, I don't remember their name. It was somebody new I hadn't really heard of. Anyway, I really like the song. But all of these things, and it's like even Queen and all of these other things. I mean, all of my fucking favorite music that I've listened to for years that have nothing to do with anything. It's just my favorite tunes and types of music. Now make it sound like I'm pining or depressed or oh my gosh, I miss, I love, or I want, and that's not the fucking case. It's just my favorite music. But now I can't listen to any of it. And I can't share any of these new songs that I'm finding. I can't listen to shit anywhere because it's gonna give people the wrong impression. I can't share shit anywhere because it's gonna give people the wrong impression. And me personally, I don't really give a fuck what other people think. But I don't want people assuming to try to use as aim. Like y'all, I can't listen to my damn music, and it's killing me. Like even my family, if they heard me listen, they'd be like, "Oh, she's," and I'm not. I just want to listen to my music, guys. So I'm having to stay away from certain. I mean, like I don't even know what the fuck to listen to. Like some of the greatest tunes are like "Beast of Burden." It's one of my favorites. Has been since I was a kid. I mean, like ACDC, Dirty Deeds. I mean, Aerosmith. Look, Jenny's Got a Gun is one of my favorite fucking songs on earth. Has been since I was a kid. Y'all, if I fucking share that or play that, people are gonna be like, oh, like what the fuck do I do about that? I don't know what to do about any of it. I can't even listen to my damn music. And that is the most annoying thing on earth currently. Yeah. And you know what gets me is and you know what gets me is you know, in front of flying monkeys is it was you can do this to your sorry ass family, that your sorry ass family is sorry ass family. What's fucking hilarious to me is that, it's meant to make it sound like I'm the trash. In front of other people or like whatever. The truth is like every time it runs to my family because it loves my family because it's a real one. It's like it loved the holidays, it loved this and that and the other, and the cooking and whatever else, and how we participated in family activities and all these things that it didn't actually do, but it's family and it pretended they fucking did, like real farming and real this and real community fucking outreach shit that. And I'm like, you don't know anything about real community or helping each other or, you know, real farming or gardening or, just because like the calendar says shit's in the Bible. It's like, whoo, where'd you pick that up from, genius? Right. Anyway, so it loved my family, and it was real holidays and shit, which it didn't have ever. Like there was no real anything over its way. No real sense of family. No, not once in 26 years did I ever see any of those people have a Christmas dinner, an Easter anything, Thanksgiving, not one holiday or birthday spent together, no celebrations of any kinds. And then, like, for all the I cook and I do, I mean, I literally never saw that except once every now and then, right? A pot of this, pot of that, whatever. Like, there's always been real cooking done here, like, every day. Um, and it's just bullshit facade, right? So it always loved my family and wanted to be just like it wanted to be me, and it wanted whatever, and it wanted what I had. And I think for the most part, that's probably why. Um, and I honestly, sincerely believe this. I've always felt like Voldemort wanted to be me. So as you can tell, I've changed locations. I really needed a cigarette. It took me a while to get here. So anyway, but in front of other people, it tries to say things like that. But yeah, to try to give the impression of something that's not accurate. Um, his family has never done for the community what mine had. Like, mine's all about community and whatever, and pap roast is all like that. Um, what's funny is, you know, and he knows this to be true. I mean, like, what's the thing? Like, it's wild. But I always wanted my family, right? And that's why it was always like it tried to make them flying monkeys and manipulate from the get. Um, and I feel like it always, and I felt like this since Voldemort and I met, even though we went to school together, right? Felt like Voldemort always wanted to be me. Um, at first, I dismissed the reasons why. Thought it was because it was unpopular and the whole overweight, no self esteem, and this and the other, right? And I thought, well, whatever. Um, like, I love this little creature. I'll ego boost it and go give it, and let it know, like, I should not have done that. Anyway, in hindsight, which is a bitch, because I'll tell you, it did get worse the more it fed on me through the years. Oh. And, like, honestly, looking back, I wonder some days if it would have ever become what it did. If not having, and this is the thing, this sentence right here, if it ever gets hold of it, it's going to used to be like that, right? Because it always told me, like,
I almost forgot to add myself, but I remembered. This is a really good set of videos to watch and listen to. She talks about so much in this, how she torments Andy and thinks he'll wise up and be a better person because she left a picture on the wall to torment him. So he will remember his family forever and maybe think about them one day and want something to do with them, but she doesn't want anything to do with them. She talks about how she left him and was dating another man. She talks about being shot in the face. This is a really good set of videos. I may have had some details mixed up because it's been like 2 years since I've listened to them, right? I know I put portions of this out on my first channel, but it wasn't the whole thing. But I want you to notice as she's sitting in her car, while she's in her camper, she looks out both windows all day long like somebody's looking at her. But while she's in her car, I want you to notice the amount of traffic that goes past her house and how she doesn't pay mind to most vehicles going by. All right. Yeah, Lady R, just listen.
Yeah, me. But what I mean by it and what it would take from it are two entirely different things. I wonder if it would have become what it did if it hadn't met me. The reason I say that, and I know in my soul it would have.
All right. So listen, my granddaughter got remote learning upstairs. They're not in school today. I'm going to go check on her, run to the bathroom while you guys listen to this. I'll be right back. Turn it off. Why, Green Eyes? You don't want to hear her make a fool of herself and make shit up? I think it's important we listen to this because it gives a lot of perspective into her relationship with her family and why it is I feel the way I do. And why it is I have a lot of questions for Andy, which, by the way, he has answered, I think, some of them in my messages. Like I told you last night, I really haven't been checking my messenger. I'm kind of in just like go mode. I don't want no distractions. Everything got to come out now, in my opinion, just so people understand my opinions. And I will talk about the lawsuit. I don't know if it'll be in this live. Maybe later tonight I'll come on and talk about it because it needs to be out there. Although I've spoken about it prior. All right. Hold on. Sorry, Green Eyes. I got to torment you today.
But I wonder still, like there's a question there. But I think had it stayed, and had I just not had any interaction with it, and I had dropped it like a hot rock, I think that it would have become like some of the other males in its family that are especially nearest its birth bringer. They are very meek and run over and overpowered, and even when I met it, it was controlled by mom, you know, and it hates that. But it also goes and seeks that, so it has definite mommy issues, which is what, like I said the other day. I mean, Madonna horror complex, very much so. Everything it finds looks and quacks like Birthbringer, even though it hates it. Um, but all the men there and all their wives, and I can tell you the wives fucking despise the Birthbringer because um, Birthbringer has its little fingers in everybody's fucking lives and controls the men and this and the other because it can't control its own life and it can't It doesn't have a happy anything itself. It never has had a normal anything, and on its own scale, it's been, like, and it is controlling. That's why Voldemort has an issue with control, and feels like everything is about control. Because even at this age, Birthbringer controls and manipulates everybody around it. And then the rage from its own sperm donor. I mean, like, you can see that shit didn't fall from the sky. But regardless, uh, I think had it not meant me, like, I think it would have still been an abuser, but maybe not to the scale it was, because the more confidence it got from me, the more ego it got as it was with me, the more I built it up, the worse it got. If that makes sense. Um, the more intelligent it, like, the more it could gain from, and not just age, but the more it could garner from conversations and things it picked up, and I don't know, and not just like in a normal way that most people do, but I really, because it always used me to feed from, and then is the more it could build itself from that, and the more I went to that, and the more it could feed from me and feel bigger and better about it. So, like, it got worse. So I think it probably would have been an abuser regardless, but it would have been still like narcopathic, but maybe not as violent. It would have been more manipulative and still the boohoo, because even when I met it, it was like that, like victim status, victim, victim, victim. But honestly, at that point, there really were bad guys. Like, Birthbringers were it, and still are. And I mean, even at Voldemort's age, they still absolutely abuse, manipulate, and control it. And it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But it always wanted my family, and I could see that. And it was so jealous. And there was no need to be. Like, my family tried to bring it in from the get go, and then there was issues for years because it wouldn't get its shit together and take care of kids, wouldn't work, like, wouldn't do what we expect of people. And, and Pap was like, it's fucking, whatever. Useless estates on board hog would have been his words. Couldn't stand it. And then, which is why when it could stand it and thought it was doing better, I let it stand and let the mask really take hold. Because I wanted it to be so, and whoo, boy, it wasn't. So anyway, it always wanted my family, and I'll tell you that is the absolute fucking truth. And I think from the time we met, that it always wanted to be me, and it wasn't from that. Uh, on how to act, sort of do, and be. And like I've said in other ones, I mean, most of its personality is mine. Who knows what the fuck its real personality is, honestly.
So if his personality is yours, Jody Sue, does that mean you're abusive?
But, hell, even I couldn't tell you that. And I know it better than it knows itself most days. So, anyway, the thing is that anybody, anybody, Anybody who knows me, and I don't mean this in an ego way, I don't mean it in any other way than just facts. And most days anymore, the older I get, the more this quality about me annoys the shit out of me. And I don't know what you call it. I don't know what a trait. I don't know really what it is. I just it happens and it's accidental. I don't mean for it to happen. It doesn't matter, but it happens. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. Um, and it's something Baltimore in past few years has tried to stop. And I realized this several years ago. And if people that watch this think on it here in a minute, after I finish this explanation, they'll see that there's an aha moment here. Uh, for them as well. Like, holy shit, she in line. So here's the thing. My whole life, my whole last life, there's been this thing to where, okay, as an example, alright. My mom and I, several years ago, went on vacation together. And, anyway, we're at this little place that is one of my favorite places to go. It's one of the more scandalous profile pics I have because I thought it was funny. It's a little vulgar, but it's funny. Anyway, so that's where we're at, right? And but it's one of my favorite places when I go. Everywhere. Either way, it's just her and I. We were getting drinks, and within like 2 minutes, by accident, I have an entire fucking bar and street just around the table. And I don't mean to, but it happens. It kind of happens no matter where I'm at. Um,
The tree cutters, people on vacation with her mom. She's just the life of the damn party. I couldn't imagine who wouldn't want to be around her. I call your bluff, Jody Sue.
it is something that happens to me when I'm out to eat. When I go to fucking the gas station, it happens to me. No matter, like, there's always, and I don't mean for it to, but people, for some reason, I don't know. I guess other people will call it charisma. I'm not sure, but normal me.
Her chat rooms are just filling up. She got so much charisma. I'm sorry.
Uh, when I'm happy, free, myself, has never met a stranger. I love people. I enjoy, you know, life story. I just enjoy people, and I think they can feel that, and people are like, you know, but
Unless it's for another subject, Josh, I won't have a membership. You're cool over here. This ain't always all about money for me. I don't think that getting a missing little girl's face out there needs to be put behind, what does Jody Sue call it? A paywall. She does that. She memberships her videos. My shit's out there for people to see and always has been. But thank you so much for asking that. However, because this is on Jody Sue's name, I did monetize this live.
everybody that knows music accounts like, you do that, and why is it everywhere we go? It's like that. And I've been like that since I was young. I don't mean for it to. It happens. It is what it is. Sometimes in my older age, especially the more I've had to buffer my world and my personality and all these things and contend with the fucking abuse, you know, but if I'm away from fucking Baltimore, it still stands. And even around him, that's the thing. But either way, it's there's no effort. I don't try to do that. It's not something I do on purpose. It's something that just happens. Uh, and I think Baltimore always looked at it, it's like, it would see me and there'd be like 900 cars in the driveway and there'd be friends over and there'd be people coming and going. And I was always at some party or invited to something.
But didn't she say they were the people on the road with the least traffic? Now she's the life of the party and people were coming and going. So was the traffic at your house, Jody?
And it knew that most of the people it was around, and I can tell you this for facts, were like, even where it was at that first night we met, and people were like, please don't go out that door. Like, because I've been wondering who it was, right? For weeks. I'm like, who the fuck is this blah, blah, blah person? Like, y'all keep fucking talking about. And they were like, oh no, please don't. Please don't. And then when I started something in Baltimore, they were like, oh God, please don't. Please don't. Like, it ain't even worth your fucking time. Please don't. Like, you can do so much, but whatever. I did.
I don't post a Cash App either, Josh, but thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. I do. I just like you guys being here. If you get a chance, watch the commercials. I want to work for what I get. I'm not here to tragedy pimp anybody. However, I like to conversate about cases and show you stuff. Like I've said, I've gotten really deep into Summer's case. I don't plan on doing this on another case. I got to find my niche and get there. But until Summer's case is solved, this is where I'm at. I'm too far in it now, right? You guys rock, though. Thank you.
Total regret there, right? Anyway, I think that that's why it eventually came around within, like, because it was so nervous and shy and so just looking down at its feet, like when I met it, like even though it was older than I was by a lot. Um, but people were like, and it knew, I think mostly that it was being used by most people for the ride at the time to, like, places and the other and whatever. And I knew that to be true as well, and it's part of why I felt bad for it, which was part of my issue and how I got with it. And I know that to be true of myself because it was so broken. I felt bad. And my savior complex is real. Uh, yeah. And I know that to be half of why, like, I mean, it was a big part of why I ended up where I ended up. Um, mm, so, um, yeah, like I said, I have my own issues, then, now. Um, but I try to own those motherfuckers. Anyway, but you could see it dawn on Voldemort that if it followed me around, if it did this, if it did that, and you could almost see the ego boost almost immediately, and it was using it in order to do exactly what it's done to me from the beginning, which is always and seeing if it couldn't have both things, and always keeping me until, and I mean, it always used me, fed for me, grew and grew, and then used that to see, the coming, but kept me until it thought it could find something better, always. And I knew that to be what it was doing from the beginning. Trust me. Because when we met, it was dating a person that mommy approved of that was exactly like quacking and walking and looked exactly like. And that was the point of contention. And then it realized I was obviously the buttermilk, so then it come to me, and mommy didn't like that, and then that pissed mommy off, so it fed on this and fed on that, and Lord, it was a hot mess. But yeah, always the same thing from the time we were that young till now. Oh, the patterns have just gotten worse, more violent, crazier. I just, I just, I wish so many things had been different some days. And until recently, you would have never gotten me to say, like, I regret anything in my life. But I do regret those moments. I didn't listen to my cousins and not walk out that door. I regret the moments that everybody around me was like, man, it ain't good enough. It ain't worth this. It ain't whatever. And I didn't just. And I regret not just making it a day or two. And I regret just not going on to the Marine Corps because this thing was crying and like, oh, you can't do that. You can't leave me and whatever. And then eventually it made it to where I couldn't. And I regret so many things. But that's the thing. It's like, I'm not a person that has ever been like, I regret whatever. Like, I try not to do things in my life that I'm going to regret. I try to live by that, you know. But other than that, the only thing I regret, and that's the thing, is like with this summer thing, I mean, it's the only time I think I've been like, what if, and but what if I could have, and I regret this, and I regret that. The day summer went missing. But other than that, it's only this monster. And maybe my pap. I might regret, like, well, not regret, but I wish I had just hugged him those last few days that he was here. Even though COVID was a full swing, but I didn't want to get him sick. So there's certain things like that, but not regret of this type. Not like with the summer thing or with the Baltimore shit. But I do, man. I wish I'd just walked the fuck on. So many times. And I mean, I had tried to. Like, that's the thing. There was points there, like I said. I mean, there's a part like a year or two at certain points. And I mean that. Like, I had literally left at one point because Baltimore, once again, it stirred shit in my family because it enjoyed that separation, especially if it could break us down or break me apart from it. And there was one particular, we had a car wreck. And, like I've explained in the videos, Baltimore was a homebody. Couldn't get him to do nothing. Couldn't get him to go nowhere until like the past 3 or 4 years. Uh, with the weight loss and stem fast and whatever the fuck. Uh, but for the most part, you couldn't get it to go anywhere to do anything. But I was always the bubbly one, the personality. Always went places where.
And now she says Andy has only done weed after accusing him of giving sedatives, but you'll hear her accuse him of doing many more drugs in this set of videos.
Whatever. And so after this car wreck, I mean, it was bad. And I know some of you remember my face, and it's why my eyelid, that one is real wonky. Uh, but after I'd finally healed from it and could go out of the house without looking like, woo, he was like, oh, you need out, blah, 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 blah. And I almost pushed me out the door, right? With friends. So I went out and for like once I left our kid, like with it. And it was small anyway. And it's time, I learned I couldn't trust Baltimore with children. But anyway, not yet at that point. But I come back in that night, and Baltimore, hold on. But so anyway, it's always one.
Damn it, it's going to be prolonged because they're out of order. But that's the start of the story of her, Andy staying with her family. She claims she left the baby, then she said she took the baby, which was only the one boy. But he's so scary that she just went out, moved in with another man. A man who she claims shot her in the face, by the way. But okay.
But so anyway, it's always wanted to be me, and I know that sounds so fucked up to say, like, it feels ick. But that's kind of always what it's done. And I've always gotten that impression from the time we were. But then, like, I could see a switch over from when we first were ready for years to being kind of in all of that and taking advantage of it and using it to be able to hang out and do whatever and get introduced to new people and to do new things and to build its ego to where it had the confidence enough to try to be part of, you know, I mean, back then it was Broad Street, Gate City, all these things to do. I mean, we could all party, even young as shit, without the cops bothering you much, without charges against people. You know, like it was just, if they caught your ass out, they were bringing you home most likely, or calling your parents to come get your ass. And that's only if you were causing a fucking ruckus, really. Um, so, there was all these things to do for us back then. Like anybody my age will attest to. Now they've cut all that shit out. Everybody's just in hollers doing dope. And there's nothing for these kids to do. But back then, it was kids being kids. And all of us tried it even well before we were supposed to. And it was just like turn the other way, right? Nobody paid attention to it. But yeah, you could see it was like an odd thing at first, and I love this about her and whatever. But the very things that loved about me then became like a jealousy, and you could see it change over because almost like it could never really get to that level, and it had to try for it. I never had to really try for that. It was just it came to me, and I sincerely do not mean that in an ego way or like look.
Are you guys paying attention to how busy her street is? How many cars drive down her street while she sits there, looks out her trailer window, and tells us all of them cars are there stalking her? Every single one of them. Like, oh my, there's that truck. Oh, there's that car. Oh, I see you. But you could clearly hear every like 1 minute or less, there is a car or a truck or a vehicle, even motorcycles going by. I just think that needs to be pointed out.
Me or anything. I mean, it just is me, and I don't mean for it to be. It's just something. And you could see things then become like jealousy and hate, and it had to try so hard, And I would start to see those things, and it was like, man, what the fuck? And then it would try to cut those things off about me. And especially as it's had me trapped, as I've been sick the past 4 or 5 years, like every time we do go out and people are at the car, people are wherever, when I can talk, it was really trying to cut that shit the fuck out. And especially the past 2 years. I'll tell you that fucking much. I mean, people come up and be asking me how I was or what was going on, or be the besties, or be whatever the fuck, right? And whereas before, because everybody knows I can talk, um, but it would shut me down like all of a sudden, and then he would interrupt me when I was talking, which was not something it had ever normally done. It would be pissed off. It would be gotta go. Like, I mean, it was just rushing me no matter what the hell. It didn't matter who the fuck was around. Like, it was just so fucked up. Now, I mean, the control just kept getting worse and worse and worse and kept me away from people. And the past year and a half, I see why. It didn't want to be found out. It didn't want that. I get it. I mean, just the control was so bad. But and any of you can attest that. I mean, but then if it wanted to talk, if it wanted to hang out, every hole you put me behind, you did this thing, everybody 10-minute conversation, and then the next thing it would do is drive us somewhere and then talk to one of its buddies for an hour and a half, but never let me say a word. Like, it was so fucking weird. But it started interrupting me and talking for me and being pissed, and it started an argument, so I just didn't talk to anybody. Those of you who many of you here have seen this, and so I know you can attest to that being the truth. It was fucked up, but it was different with Baltimore, and you all know it. But yeah, but then in front of it, and look, one of the first things it did before I even knew it was done, right? Done. Was it like my family didn't know either? Like, That's how, like, it ran up to him and was like, "Oh, I owe you," and so. Like, so my family knew before I did that it was saying this other shit that it was not saying me. It was the opposite. Now it bothers to apologize to everybody. Tries to tell them I'm crazy because I'm walking the banks and stuff after the summer thing. Um, she lost her mind, and everybody else is like, no, it seems pretty normal to us.
Then why is your Spiky coming on YouTube and agreeing with Andy?
Anyway, they're trying to make it like I'm. Anyway, I was protecting my family like any normal, sane human being would, uh, which should be a male trait, you'd think. But anyway, it ain't, because the truth is that I've always protected it. I've always kept it safe. I've always done what it took to keep it out of, and
This is where she'll tell us that she used to beat dudes up for Andy, but Andy beats her. But she had to always beat people up for Andy.
it's straight, and it's never done that for me. But then again, you don't have to when, like, somebody's got their shit together. Like, the fuck is wrong? I don't know. Anyway, it's like fighting its battles. It's like, I mean, Jesus, I've watched Grumman punch it and it not do a fucking thing. And then I end up going and, like, dealing with these grown ass men that done punched my dude. Like, y'all tell me what the fuck that's about.
You tell me what that's about, because you're saying he's abusing you, but now you're saying that you got to beat people up for him.
Somebody, please. Like, I'm the one Voldemort come and complained to, and then I went and took care of these grown ass men far bigger than Voldemort. Uh,
So now she was beating up men bigger than Voldemort. Yeah, Helen, she removed a lot of her videos. These I grabbed, oh my God, a long time ago. Like, a lot of them I haven't even watched. I just grabbed them because she was deleting them and privating shit. No shame in my game. I'll tell you, you're a suspect. You're damn right I did that. With no fucks given, Jody Sue. All right.
bet you most grown ass men get punched in the mouth, they're gonna do something about it. They ain't gonna complain to the girlfriend and have her take care of it. But that's what I've been dealing with, y'all. Anyway, that was years ago, I swear. I try not to be that type of trash anymore. Uh, but yeah, I've always had that feeling. But either way, so the first thing it does after this is, as soon as it can catch my family, it's, oh, blah, 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 I'm so sorry, la, la, la. To make sure, right? Because it wants to keep them as Yeah. But then to me, it's your sorry ass family this, sorry ass family that, in front of flying monkeys to try to make it look like it's not had this envy of its entire existence with me and a need to like try to take over my family because it wants my family. Because its family sucks. And all the things that I always said, like, even I thought at first, it's like, the stories I heard and shit, it was, oh, gardens this and cows that and blah, 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 that. And then I see this piece of property, all this supposedly happened. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you have what, one fucking cow here? And like half a garden? Dude, like, this spot ain't even like our baby garden. Like,
And here we go with the my land is better than your land. I can garden better than you. We had cows. Our garden and farm is better. What the fuck? Of all the things in the world, this sounds like toddler shit, Jody Sue. And it also sounds like you're very, very concerned about land again. And not only Andy's, but your family's as well.
even the backyard pool garden we had, like, our gardens are massive and hay fields and fucking cattle and hogs and horses and holy shit. Y'all serious though? You trying to make me believe you were farmers and you were this and that? Okay. But couldn't tell me basics about like, I mean, everything is bullshit, y'all. It's not real. It's just like, dude, like in front of flying monkeys, especially last Sunday, it was my property, my this, my that, for no reason, because I wasn't even mentioning it, right? But it just wanted to throw it out there. Like it did in court, too. And my dumbass was just like standing there, and I probably should have said something in hindsight, but it's not its property. It's not. Not name or legal terms, like it doesn't belong to it. But it's trying to make coleslaw and everybody else believe it's got something it doesn't. So whatever. But either way, there's no way any of this was ever farmed to the degree like everything these people are bullshit. So, but with my family, it was not. It was reality. And so it seemed all these things, wanted it, loved my family. The jealousy was intact, like, and there was no need. Like, had it done right, the family brought it in, and when they thought it was doing right, they did. That's the thing. Families like you do for yourself. If you'll do it, like, you know, yeah. And when it did start doing right, there for a few years, I mean, family was immediately like, you know, but yeah, but then in front of people, it wants to colonnade, or like it's. But yeah, it's just one of the fucking things I find wild. Even still. Like, it's like this person has always wanted to be me and couldn't. And the more it had to look at me every was that it had to put effort into and still couldn't. I think the rage grew. I think all kinds of things grew. But it definitely used me to feed from to do what it's done over the years.
Opal, you got to tag me in them because I've never seen her shopping or cooking. Now, I've seen her sitting in the car talking shit, following Andy around, but I've never seen her cooking. If you could show me that, I need to make a video out of it, please. The only thing I've ever seen her cook is fast food.
Um, and it has since we met. I've always known that, and so did everybody else around me. And I thought it would eventually be okay. I thought, because back then, I mean, you thought, well, it'll grow, it'll learn like everybody does. Even though I was quite a bit younger than that, like, because we all grow and learn, right? I thought change, I thought this. It never happened. It stuck with the patterns, it stuck with, it never picked who it was. It always wallowed in and always, it didn't wake up at any point in any of those 26 years and go, I can choose who I want to be. I can choose what I do. I can choose.
She didn't even give back to the earth, though, Lady, or it still sits in barrels. Yeah.
Other methods and means. Instead, it just continued being exactly what it had always been, or thought it was, or other people had made it with their control, manipulation, and narcopathic behavior. Uh, it never had the aha moment if I don't have to be what people have trained me to be. It never learned better by being around other people who weren't like that. It wanted to, and I'd had hope at one point that it would learn, but man, it just never did. It was all an act when it did learn. But yeah, that's the fucking wild part. Like, real other people, it's like, oh, you're shit, man, this there. I'm like, okay, buddy, all right. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's been so wild. So many years of just, I don't know. So many things like that. You see and you recognize, and somehow it still doesn't stop. Somehow you still can't break the chains. You can't break the fucking bond. You don't even know why. And I'll tell you, I don't even know why in the fuck that trauma bond ever. And I don't know why I bonded to this person. Still cannot tell you that. Even with all I know and recognize and see, I still have no idea why. Cannot find the answer inside of myself. No matter what I do, introspection, digging, soul searching. I don't know why I bonded to this person.
All right. So I know this next piece goes along with what I wanted Jins to hear. I'm going to skip around a little bit. I'm going to play this 5-minute video and then that next piece. And then we'll go through the rest just because they kind of go together and these aren't in order. So,
Voldemort. Voldemort was a sleepish sort of. And at the time, we were staying with my parents. Like I said, I was still young, had a brand new baby, hadn't moved into my place yet. So we were in between. I can't remember what the fuck was happening there, honestly. Because Book wasn't a baby. So we were in between somehow. Places, I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, Book wasn't very old. And anyway, so I came in that night. Hadn't been gone that long. And Voldemort made it a point to be like, oh no, go back out, do this, do that, whatever, right? But sleep, etc. And then, like, the next morning I come in and I talked to him through the night. I checked on the baby, I did whatever. And then I come pulling back in that day. And when I do, everybody's on my ass. Everybody. Now, mind you, this has really been the first time I was away from my kid. This is the first time I've been out in months. Months. I'd say almost a year, quite frankly. Because it took that long to heal. And, you know, I'm thinking about that car happened when I was dancing right at the end of that. So I was, but he still wasn't very old. He was like toddler age, maybe. Because I was already dancing and, oh, yeah. So anyway, and that wreck had happened on Christmas Eve. But this was in the summer. Uh, this particular episode went down. So, like I said, almost a year. And I hadn't been out of the house. I mean, because my face was fucked up. I had no hair because of the windshield. I mean, shaved my ass, crazy stuff. Cut my lip and eyelid off. Anyway, so I come back and everybody like greets me in the driveways and being dropped off and like accuses me of all this shit. Like I hadn't been home in days and it was just the schedules had just, you know. But Voldemort had told him that I hadn't done this, and he'd been calling that, and hadn't talked to me this, and hadn't done whatever. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And in true Voldemort style, in front of them, when they would be coming back and forth to the car, it was one show, but then to me, like at the window, it was like, I'm sorry, they took it wrong, they whatever, and I didn't say that. And at the time, I didn't know for what it was yet. But what it did do, what Voldemort managed to do, was get I in my. I was like, holy shit. So ends up getting me and Bug kicked out. And of course, he stays with my family. Didn't go back to his own. Made sure to stay there so I and the baby had nowhere. You know what? It's fucked up, right? And I was pissed.
So she's saying her mom kicked her and the baby out, but in a couple minutes she'll say it was the first time I left my baby. So I don't know what that was about, but so now she's implying that her family knew he was a monster and was taking his side. Yes. And kicked her and her child out. Do people see why I have concerns about Spiky? Just saying. I don't know what's truth and what's not. I know a lot of people are bunched in together doing a bunch of different things that they shouldn't be fucking doing.
Because I knew, like, what he'd done was a fucking lie. And at that point, I still wasn't completely in.
So she's not completely in with her own family, but he is. You hear the traffic going by, car after car after car after car. She's not stopping to say these people were harassing her. Although she does while she's in the house during this time state that that's going on. She's fucking delusional, in my opinion.
So I was out, and it's like this motherfucker really just did this in line. What kind of crazy shit is that, right? So I left, and then I ended up with another person. Now I'm talking for a year plus, and let me tell you about trauma bonds.
So she left her abuser for a year plus, but now it's a trauma bond and she's back. Keep listening.
I was with this person for over a year, and not one day went by to where I wasn't still mourning Voldemort, even though he'd done what he did. And I still wasn't that in yet, right? Because I was still to where I could be like, fuck this, that was fucked up. Your lie costed me my child. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell?
Your lie costed me my child. Let's go back.
Your lie costed me my child. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
So therefore, she left this child with Andy because his lie costed her her child. The family just took the child without going to court. Am I still lying, Jody Sue? Am I still making shit up? You made me pull it out. You gave me permission. You said prove it. Here we are. You know, bitch, I always bring the receipts, or at least I try to.
what the hell? So I was still able to go. I was still able to date another person. But every day, it was tears for Voldemort. It was that urge to go back. It was, so then when Voldemort, after, because the whole time, Voldemort is obviously around. That would have been good. Oh dear.
All right, the next clip's only like 54 seconds long, and I gotta find the rest of this. I didn't get through it. That's why I wanted to just come live and play it so I didn't have to do it twice because I haven't. Well, I woke up at 12:30. I took a really long nap last night, so I'm awake, but my granddaughter's upstairs. I told you guys. But yeah, okay, hold on. Let me go play this other clip where she tells us about being shot.
And and then Voldemort this whole time it stayed with my family, not its own. Yeah. So ensuring that I can't even come back to my family or visit or do anything. I mean, like, but then, like when I would come around, it was like, oh, so I was basically cheating on the other person. Uh,
So now she has a baby with Voldemort. They're living with her family, and she's cheating on the other person with Voldemort. That's what she's trying to say.
because Voldemort, Lord help me. And then, basically, hell it was. Okay? Was. And then Voldemort, after a year or so, was like, please marry me, please this, please come back. And just as soon as I come back, Voldemort. Anyway, so just as soon as I come back, they're out of the way. Anyway, so just as soon as I come back, they're out of the way. This went down so fucked up. But Voldemort is straight up 10 days, and it's a holiday. So you can imagine is cheating on me. And then gets caught, and then it's trapped me in the bathroom and abusing me. And oh, she's so much better than, and she's blah blah blah, and she's a church girl, and she's this, and she's that. And
Now, remember Jody Sue running through the woods? For the longest time, she thought Coleslaw was a neighbor. I have reason to believe, it is my opinion, that the neighbor was somebody related to Felon, the person that Fred shot. Okay? That's just my thoughts on the situation, and I feel like that's who Jody Sue was chasing through the woods. Now, do I know that for sure? No, because Jody Sue needs to come out and tell us why she was really chasing people through the fucking woods, right?
I mean, they were not my type. They still aren't. That's the thing. I mean, they were not my type. They still aren't. Um, that's the thing. And I saw flaw, such major. And I know what I thought then. I thought broken, abused. This and other, baby bird wing thing. Even though I was much younger, my own savior complex, these things. But there were so many things that were red flags. So many things that are still seated firmly in its personality, that it still does, just on a grander scale. Still the same monster it was even at that age, but I didn't realize it was a monster yet. And I don't know for the life of me why I bonded with it. I don't know why I ever trauma bonded with it. I don't know why after, there was a period there from like 11 to 14 to where, well, 13 maybe, to where I was like, I'm gonna live my own life. And it had already done some horrendous shit in between to where I was like, hell no. Like, I don't have to be with you. This is fucking not gonna work for me. That was some disrespectful shit. I've been taught better. You ain't gonna do me like that. But my own head, I wiped it away, right? I was like, I eventually excused it, even though it was still there, and eventually became part of the patterns I know. Throughout the years, uh, like using me to do the ego boost, and then finding whatever it thought was better at the time, and keeping me in teal and whatever. Um, and it was always, every time it did that, it looked at me just like it did that last Sunday with this cruel fucking look and this gross, monster thing behind its eyes. And it would be like still trying to manipulate me on a scale with this look on its face. And it's only a particular one you'll see when there's a coleslaw involved. And it almost wants you to be like, it wants to see that pain or hurt. And it's one of the most disgusting looks you'll ever see in somebody's eyes. But then it would decide that it was being used, or it would figure out that it actually wasn't wanted, and what it was doing was whatever, and uh, it had picked wrongly, like like it had a habit of doing, and then there's Jody Sue, my dumbass, Lord help me. But yeah, that look in its eyes when it does that, um, especially if it can force you to see it and do it in front of you, is something to behold. And it's not something you can really forgive because you can see that it wants to cause you as much pain as it can as it's doing that. It's, I don't know. Anyway, so I still have no fucking idea how I got trauma bonded to this thing. Why? Because, like I said, it wasn't my type then. It's not now. And somewhere in that period, I was done with it. Uh, and then when it realized that, that's when it really came on super strong. And then just come back to my world like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck me. And I didn't really want anything to do with it. But then it just kind of, and then I wasn't. That's the thing. I wasn't. I was like, oh, hell no, it ain't. But then what happened was it did some really foul shit over its birth bringers. And then it got itself into deep shit. And then it come like, can I live with you? And then one night turned into two, turned into three, kind of forced it in a way. Like, but it wanted that. And it had nowhere else to, because I was, I don't know. So, yeah. Yeah. But had it not been for that moment in time, I would not be where I find myself now. And I know that to be the moment. But there it was, broken and in need, and the bad guy's time. Even though I thought what I had done at that point was foul myself. And there it was. And my savior complex in full effect. And I thought, and there it was. And then I think it was just I don't know, I think a lot of things. But I know that to be the moment in time. Had it not been, I think, for that moment, I know that 2 seconds before it walked up on my porch that day, I was entirely done. That I would have never had anything else to do with it. Um, so had it not walked up on my porch that day and the situation been that dire, even though it was its own fault, but I still wanted to eat that bad guy story. So I made excuses for it and thought a day or two and it'll pass, but it never did. And then a day or two turned into 26 years. And it was never it that I paid for every single one of those days for having a fucking heart, y'all. For a monster. So did they. Oh. Either way, but regardless, the takeaway from all 9,312 videos today is I'm but regardless. The takeaway from all 9,312 videos today is I'm not real sure. Other than to say that I cannot be in a box again. It's the that thought is running and running and running and running past few days. And I can't. And every day that goes by, that's going to get worse for me. So I'm going to find a solution to it very shortly. And I'm going. Oh. I'm going to shake those chains and those strings once and for all. We are not going to live in another box where Voldemort has us, and Voldemort always knows Jody's two kids and can continue to has definitely manipulated the situation to where that is absolutely it. Took me a few days to fucking get there to have that realization. Like most things this year. And like it's typical of me. Because it's usually like that, right? But I'll be damned if I know what that solution is right now. I just know that I could not allow it. And in order for my heart and peace of mind, their safety, our absolute freedom, I've got to stop this from happening. So I'm going to find a solution to where Voldemort can't take this piece from me like it thinks. It doesn't matter, right? Either way I go, it's Voldemort thinks it wins. And is definitely, those are both strings in both ways to get off on and to continue to have those strings on. So this isn't a game to me, man, or them, but it is them, trust me. So I've got to find a solution very, very quickly. And I'm going to. I'm not going to be. I'm going to split the box. So, nope. And hard to tell them what the fuck that's going to say. I just, no. Anyway, that's where I'm at today so far. my damn music back. Oh, fuck. Small town bullshit. Oh, I need my music and I need to be out of the box. Starting to feel like Brad Pitt. It's in the box. Driver picks the tunes, y'all. Driver picks the tunes. My petty moment being, the crutches. My petty moment being, the crutches that put me on, standing there staring at me during the packing move. And people are like, well, you might need these. Let's take them. I'm like, hell no. Hell no. And I left them. I put them near the fucking giant ass fucking holes they had thrown me through, made in the walls, and then boarded up on its alone. Let it keep them. I'll never be put on another pair of crutches because it again, somebody else will need them. But it ain't gonna be me. And I'll never be put through another fucking wall and then told how it's my fault. Look what I did to their house. Like I fucking threw myself through fucking walls or put my own head through something or sat on me and balled me up because it's the only way that somebody can fight. And have my face planted through a fucking wall. And then told, look what you did, look what you did. Look what you did to my house, my house. And then refused to let me fix it or build or do anything because it's its house, it's its house. And paranoid them think that if anything is done by me, then somehow I've rights over everything. So, regardless, he wouldn't fix it other than board it up. So I left those crutches right beside of those fucking holes that it boarded up, that my face and body had planted through, that I was told were my fault, and look what I'd done to its house. So that was my petty moment, ain't gonna lie. But that petty moment came before that last moment where I was nice and stupid and left those photos. And why I still couldn't, I mean, I know why. Sort of. I don't know. Mm, that was it for me. That was the last kindness. The last thing I'll ever give. My dumbass heart. It's fucking stupid, is what it is. Still thinking of the motherfuckers that just days before have been so cruel and blatant and gaslighting me in a fucking courtroom and everybody letting it and just cruel. knowing what it done for a year and a half, what it said in front of my daughter that day, what was allowed of it. I still had that last moment of kindness. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Especially knowing even at that time that what I do and I'm still not speaking on really. Still had that last moment of fucking kindness. I'm a dumbass. I really am. That's kind of what happens when you have a fucking heart and soul, I guess. No, but it lets me know I'm still vulnerable to fuckers like that. And not yet, but down the road. And trust me, I'm already dealing with other fucking crazies of it or worse caliber. People I'm not even talking to and wasn't talking to. Y'all have no fucking idea. They can smell me. They can smell the newly released victim. And it is wild. Like the single smell is one thing, but this newly released domestic violence chick smell must be real potent because y'all just have no fucking clue how scary some of these sons of bitches are up in my inbox and in real life lately. Look,
This is literally like a week after she left Andy. She sat in her car for 4 days in the same shirt, okay? And then she goes into her trailer or whatever, and she's on there talking about all these people were in her inbox stalking her and they're worse than Andy. Just listen. And Lady R, it's coming up. We're getting to the end here. The videos are just long. I'm sorry. I don't know what order they're in, but it's coming up.
look at this one. She's seen it. Tell them about the.
Hold on, her child. She put in a video. Let me hurry up and skip it.
Like, it's freaking them out, too. Like, it's that fucking. Okay. It's wild. And it started almost immediately. Like, in a way that's scarier than fucking. Like, it's an instant type of way. And, God, I wish, like, Voldemort had actually been that way upon first meeting. Because if it had, I'd just take it the fuck off. Like, there's not even a pause between these red flags. It's abuse from the get go. It's like, fuck you, you bitch, and fuck this, and why aren't you answering?
So all these men are in her inbox telling her, fuck you, bitch, why ain't you answering me a week after her and Andy break up? Now every man on the earth is abusing her in her inbox. You can't make this shit up. It's like the tree cutters dropping pens, 50 of them all surrounding her car so they could see down her sports bra shirt because she couldn't go to the hospital wearing a t-shirt because it was too uncomfortable for her radiation. Um, okay, hooker.
Me that, and I mean, y'all have no idea what kind of crazy I've been dealing with. Not even just from Baltimore, like, it's coming out. Like, I've sat here and pondered some nights I need to, like, call motherfucker and take out other orders of protection for other people. Like, that I wasn't, we made clear, was not talking to in any manner like that.
Now she wants to take orders of protection out on people in her inbox. She's such a fucking weirdo, dude.
No contacts like that, wasn't sleeping with, wasn't seeing, wasn't dating. Okay? That tells you anything. And then immediate abuse. Like, they don't even know me like that to be doing me like that. And because of the shit going on, I just been straight up Look, if I have to call for something like that right now, these people are really truly gonna believe what Voldemort is trying to make it seem like, which is I'm batshit crazy and I'm the whatever. And so I'm just trying to deal with all of it and so many things on so many fronts. But like, I just want to let everybody know I see those people for what they are. Not even if hell throws over and I'm playing that. It's part of why I'm not even trying to date because I know that we who survive this shit are really prone to end up with immediately if we do that. And the best thing I can do is take time and heal and figure out how to ever keep myself from getting with the more insidious type like I already did with Voldemort. Because these other blatant ones I can see straight out of the gate. So I have no problem avoiding them. Although they seem a little bit more dangerous off the bat. Um, the other ones, they will break your fucking soul and everything you are as a human being, or try to anyway. Over the long term, you don't even see it coming. Like, Jesus. But that's the best thing I can do for me. Is, and I don't even really have the urge to date. Like, and I don't know that I ever will. Or self reflection, or time to or self reflection, or time to think, or they can't be just alone. They have to always be surrounded. They can't like they can't because it I guess you have to think about all the things and I don't know. Maybe they're just so empty there's nothing there and they have to I don't really know. I'm not sure what the fuck that is and why that is a truthism narcopaths. But they can't be alone. There's always one source to jump to before they discard. Usually multiples. They're never alone. They're always surrounded by. But that's how you kind of tell. One of the ways, anyway. Like the rest, they can try to flip the script on, but if you place them and their victims side by side, that's one of the biggest flags in ways to tell who's the victim and who's the narcopath and the abuser. It's because they always have to have a source to jump from. And they'll always try to make it like, no, no, it was that I was this and I found true love that and blah, blah, blah. But it's not. They always have to have a source. And we're left with the scars and the healing and the terror of being fucking abused again or found. And so I tell you that terror is real and whatever fucking shit they leave on us is real because people can smell that shit a mile away. That's what I'm dealing with now. But it's one of the major ways you can tell who is and who is not. So, you know, I guess, for all the grief people give psychology and all these things, it ain't wrong. Ain't wrong. Even I thought after, because I was able to, right? Even though trauma bonds and shit throughout the years since we've been apart, I've been able to date, I've been able to do. But This time I know it's best for me not to. Because last time, look what happened. Hell, far. I died. Savior Complex pack got me goddamn killed. Anyway. Trying to save other people. Lord have mercy on my soul. So yeah. And no more broken creatures. This probably seems callous and heartless to other people, but that's why I'm big on that everybody's got to be whole, and it ain't my job to love somebody better. It ain't my job to heal somebody. You shouldn't have to do that. I need a whole person to be whole. Like, don't come at me broken. You need.
Okay, so we must be getting to the part, the whole reason I wanted to bring these videos out, because she just mentioned it a little bit. It almost got her killed. This is part of that. So she'll start pointing to her neck and face and being weird in the next few videos. Hey, Heatherlyn, how are you today? Okay.
To love me better, and I'm a broken creature, and I'm not going for that shit again. Ever. Somebody's broken, if they have mental illnesses, things like I can't. I can't. And I'm sorry. But I'm not. Like, because my savior complex, it's something I don't know that I'll ever completely be rid of. And it will always be just enough to be tempted by broken creatures, and that will get me into troubled waters. So I need someone that is whole and capable of self-reflection and introspection and self-evaluation, and can fix and heal and love themselves enough um, to not be like, love me better, fix me, heal me. I need another human in order to lean on, in order to be, because I can't be that for somebody. I'm not gonna be. It's not my job, just like it's not somebody else's job to fix, heal, or take away what's been done to me. I will fix this myself, and that's what I'm working on. And hopefully helping to help these two to where, because they are obviously of age and dating age and these things like that, to where it could potentially happen to them. And I don't want that. So it's me juggling so many things on this front to make sure, hopefully, that they do not find themselves where I found myself and ended up placing them, and to where I never placed myself there either again. And if ever the moment comes for me to dip my toes in those waters, I know that I'm whole and healed, and um, I've worked on me enough to never have to rely on another. Well, I didn't. That's the thing. I've never had another human being fix me, heal me, love me better. No shoulder, no anything. Like, that's the thing. So I don't know. I've always been pretty good at fixing myself, self introspection, whatever. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna get into something while I'm all fucked up. So, and I don't want someone that's fucked up coming at me with the love me, fix me, and I can't, because of so many neuroses that Voldemort carried. I know that I would be bad for anybody that has mental illnesses, because they would strike me as red flags, even if they're not. But I'm talking about like super deep depressions and things like that, where I wouldn't be good for them, even after I'm whole and fixed and things, because it's going to strike me as being, I don't. can't I can't be what somebody like that needs um for themselves. And it's not their fault if they have those issues. I get it. Chemical imbalances and stuff, and even medicines don't help, but I cannot be what someone like that needs because I'm naturally this. When I'm not fucked up all on my own, I'm this happy, super perky, bouncy, butterfly, peoply person, and I can feel that right below my skin. So I know that I'm not far off from being I was, but also not anymore. But I know that is still there. Um, and I'm very sensitive to people who are sad and hurt, and that very much bothers me to a degree to where I then take that on, and then it makes me sad, and it brings me down to a level to where I can't function as me when I'm around people that are that depressed or things. So it would not be good for me, and I would not be good for them because I have no idea how to. I can't do that. So, I mean, at least I know me well enough to know, and I'm honest enough with myself, Either way, I have my own hang ups, I guess, right? But, you know, other people are always like, oh, well, you gotta love everybody. I mean, like, I can't when it hurts me to a degree where I can't be me over it. So I would not be good for someone like that, and they would not be good for me. And so I've got to, at some point, if ever that happens for me, find somebody that's already whole and doesn't carry things like that. Um, It'll turn out very badly. Yeah. And that's the thing. I keep being told by people, they're like, oh, well, you'll find love, you'll find this. It'll make everything, but like, I don't, and I know it's meant as an, and that's the thing. I keep being told by people, they're like, oh, well, you'll find love, you'll find this. It'll make everything, but like, I don't, and I know it's meant as a nice thought. I understand. But that's the thing. I don't really want that. And it ain't because of who it is, but it's not. It's I wasn't, I don't think, really built that way anyway before Voldemort. Even though I dated and I did my thing, I was pretty blasé with the whole attachment thing. Like, I didn't, it was, regardless, I wasn't really the relationship type. Um, but, and even in between Voldemort and all this stuff wasn't really, it's just not I don't know, it's not really my cup of tea. Um, some reason Voldemort was. I don't fucking know. Y'all tell me. Mm. But I mean, I just don't. I don't see a life where I'm ever comfortable enough to have a true domestic situation ever again. Like, I don't see a world where there's rocking chairs on the porch or like I just even if say I had all that time. And that's what I'm speaking about, because as of right now, but um, even if hypothetically I had all that time, that's not something I see. But I'm just not. I just don't see that. Like I have no urge to. I don't see myself wanting that. And everybody else is like, well, maybe one day you will, And I don't know. I don't know if ever the day comes. I'm gonna have to make sure this. But I just, which I mean, I'm sure will make Voldemort happy, especially if he can see him in the box and nothing's whatever. And I just don't care. But um, I just don't. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't see a world where I'll ever. At this point, all I can tell anybody is adult time, sure. But after that, um, I'm gonna need people to go away. Like no living together, no retirement, no financial ties, no ring on the finger, no spending the night. I don't see a world where that exists for me or that I'll ever want it. And as much as I know about me from in between all these things through the years and before Voldemort, I kind of think that that's not something that'll go away even with time. So we'll see, I guess. But only time's going to tell. But I do know that right now, the healthiest and best thing.
I don't understand this. She says she's been with him for 26 years old, 26 years, and that she was 11 when she got with him. How much younger do you got to be fucking with other men, Jody Sue? What do you mean before Voldemort? How many men did you have before 11 years old? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Is not to be dating or doing anything with anyone. So, because I know what happens to people that have been through this, and I may not in this current chaos is still going on, even though there's some calm. I may not see it enough time. End up trapped with the same caliber or worse that doesn't really show itself for years. And full out way. But I'll tell you, if and when that time ever comes, um, the first red flag I see will be the last.
I do too, Lady R. The problem with that is Jody brings her own misery. She doesn't even want to try to think on the bright side. She wants to put everybody down. Everybody's against her. She's against everybody. She doesn't want to be friends with anybody while she's saying best friends, best friends. Like it's sad. It is sad. And that's why I tried to be friendly with her. But she is impossible. She doesn't want friends. She doesn't want to talk to people, right? Misery loves company, and that's what she is. And she's going to be miserable. She says that's going to be Andy, old and miserable and fat and bald. No, Jody Sue. You got to change your way of thinking because if you don't, you're going to be stuck in this rut for the rest of your life.
And nobody, and I mean this in absolute terms, nobody will ever get me to give in, make excuses for them again, make me give up who I am, what I have, tie me, bind me, chain me, or control me in any way. Not in any fucking way ever again. Whether that be somebody I'm dating, family, friends, I feel it and I'm gonna run. Nobody's gonna manipulate my children again. Nobody's going to try what his family did, which is to be a parent, like to push, manipulate, and do whatever to them. I will run. I don't give a fuck who anybody is. There is not one. I'm not gonna take any of it. I will run faster than the hounds of hell. After like I'm just so. I will set the world on fire and let it burn. I will leave anyone and anything behind that tries. Like, I'm in please test me mode because I'm not gonna. Not gonna. Not ever again. So that's where I'm at with that. But I mean, I don't know. I guess lucky for me that I don't need sources to feed from and I don't have to jump right into something to, survive or to, you know, just do whatever. And I don't have to, I don't have to do any of that. Because, I mean, a lot of people do. And a lot of times, well, no, let's be honest here. And the thing about narcopaths is they kind of have to do that. And it's a known thing with them. They will find one source before leaving the other. They will always have 2 or 3 rounds. But they have to have that to survive. And that's kind of how you can tell the narcopath from the fucking victim. Just saying. Whereas we're left to where we're like, oh hell no. They're like, gotta have a feed, gotta have a source, gotta have. So. And I don't have to do that. I can work on me. And I can. And so she's laughing, and she's getting ready for a bar, which I had just been tormented and assured for like 6 hours, being abused and cornered. And so she's laughing, and she's getting ready for a bar, which I had just been tormented and assured for like 6 hours, being abused and cornered in a bathroom. That this good church girl did not do, and she was like, "Oh, whatever." And Baltimore was like, "Well, I'm sorry." And then Baltimore takes off, like always, because the chase, right? The chase is the thing. But Voldemort takes off. It's a holiday, so it feeds on that. And if you know anything about Narco Pass, the holidays and birthdays and shit like that are not just with him, but
Jody Sue, and all the times I have to say this, it's been on my mind. And all the times that I've heard Andy speak, he can't even barely remember his name after smoking. I hardly doubt he's fighting with you about dates. It seems to be that that is your issue. You're the one that continuously, to this day, every day says, oh, it's around the dates. It's around the dates. You two are no longer together. That doesn't imply to you, honey. You need to get up, get off your ass, and enjoy the holidays and do what it is a normal human does. He's not there anymore. You're bringing your own misery. The dates are over, except for birthdays. Time to move on.
With all of them, it's a thing. Uh, but then it's also a way to turn itself into the victim. And this was a continued pattern, I realized, and it took a lot, but this was really the true beginning of that. When the
This would have probably been like the second week or third week of September of 2021, Lady R.
first time, mind you, but it was the real true start of the holiday thing. Um, but then the chase is the thing with it too, because it wants that. It wants, and then it uses that too as a victim thing. And like this was the truth. Like it would abuse you, do whatever, get caught doing something bad, and then it takes off. Right. This was the beginning of some of these things. It uses somehow in its mind it becomes the victim, even though it's the one that's done something wrong, and that isn't what anybody would consider okay to do to other people. And so then there's also the chase aspect. So it's like a three for plus. And that's what it's about, is the chase. And then somehow that has those things are part of how I think the trauma bond and the bonding and the codependency happen. How in the fuck that happens, even knowing what those are, I still can't tell you. Because you think you'd be like, fuck this motherfucker. But instead, here you are. And it's, I love you, and please don't, please this. And why the fuck would I? Like, at that time, why in the hell did it strike my brain to be like, I have no idea. None. Because, like, and I think part of it had not been for the prior year, knowing that that entire year I couldn't let go, even with somebody else, which was cheating them, right? And that guy shot me in the face, so I don't know what to tell you. He's in his own situation. It was fucking weird. So, it's, I love you, and please don't, please this, and why the fuck would I? Like, at that time, why in the hell did it strike my brain to be like, I have no idea. None. Because, like, and I think part of it had not been for the prior year, knowing that that entire year I couldn't let go, even with somebody else, which was cheating them, right? And that guy shot me in the face, so I don't know what to tell you. He's in his own situation.
Did y'all hear it? And there's more. I'd like to know, is there truth to this? Did somebody really shoot her in the face? Do you have an enemy out there, Jody Sue, that we don't know about that could be angry with you? She goes on to tell a little more. No clue, Helen. Whoever's in her phone with her.
It was fucking weird. So, damn it. So anyway, once again, I ended up in that situation, in the whole shooty thing, because, I was trying to save his baby mama and fucking baby from getting murdered by his military self. My savior complex is real, y'all. It's
So she's cheating on Andy, claiming she's cheating on a dude with Andy. This dude has a baby mama. She's saving the baby mama from somebody abusing the baby mama that she's now with, and he shoots her in the face. Wouldn't that be in a newspaper or on the news or something? Just saying.
Fucking problem. So anyway, once again, another broken soul woman trying to shake people I shouldn't, and was willing to die for people I didn't even fucking know. But there was a child involved, and it was that serious that day, and I was willing to die for, and I damn near did. So I think that was part of what pushed me to be like that year, to be like, instead of fuck you, I just made it on my own for a year. While you had to sit and be with my family, because your family ain't gonna do shit to help you. Your family wouldn't let you stay with them, and here you are holed up with mine, right? To where I and this baby had.
Now, look, Andy's living with her family, the same people that are on YouTube trashing her now. Like, there has to be more to this. I don't understand the whole chicken on a stick aspect. And then for her to get on there and say, oh, this stuff ain't true, I'm making it up. Here it is, right out of her own fucking cocksucker. Sorry.
Nowhere to go, and I was kind of like, but I still made it, right? And why there's codependency with people that obviously you can't depend on is still beyond me. How in the hell do you have codependency on somebody that doesn't provide or do or fix or can't even be bothered to motherfucking yard is beyond me. When you're, and I'm not saying, you know how I feel about gender roles, y'all. I've been taught that, we can do whatever the men can do and we work outside of them and we do whatever. But I mean, I do expect like certain things. At least expect you to be like right beside of me doing things, and it wasn't capable. Um,
And you know what's crazy? At this time, she wasn't really covering Summer, even though Summer was missing. It was all about her and Andy fighting and her bringing that to the forefront for the whole world to see, taking Summer's voice away, right? Making people feel bad for her, acting like she had to get out of the box because her family and Andy are abusing her. She needs to go to a hotel, then the hotel isn't good enough. There's fake FBI agents brought in. Like, something about this just doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't make sense. All these family members that stayed behind the scenes until I messaged the sister. But they all hate each other. They're all talking shit on each other, but Jody will not defend herself against them. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. What's the setup here? What's them court lawsuits about, Jody?
always try to be in front of me or behind me, but never beside of me. And it always relied on me to do these things. It's dumb as shit. But how in the hell do you form codependency with a person that can't be depended upon? Not to stay, not to raise kids, not to do anything like work or, emotional support, like conversation, not even basics. Like, I don't know how you form a codependent relationship.
Lady R, that's what I thought for a long time, right? And that's why I was trying to befriend her, because I felt that Andy was guilty of something for the longest time. And I felt like her sisters and Andy were trying to set her up with chicken on a stick. And I was out here going to battle for her. But the way she acts about it, it's just weird. Right. Leader of the pack. There's something there. Like, you're online saying how close you and your sister are. You're telling me that your kid is living with your sister. During the time Benny's saying that there's a Knoxville call when you're a grandmother or aunt or something's getting raided, but you're telling me that this kid's living with your sister, but you're online trashing her. She's online trashing you, and you're keeping all that a secret. I there's no words. If people can't see the fuckery in this, I don't know. I get it, Lady Or. It ain't that you're sensitive. As humans, we want to feel compassion, right? It is sad. I feel very sad for Jody Sue, and that's why I tried to reach out and be her friend. She is unreachable. You can't speak to her. She doesn't want to accept anybody being friendly with her or nice to her. And then she trashes them. Right. It does feel like a scripted story, Helen. It doesn't make sense. But we're almost done with these. We're 5 minutes in. This is 18 minutes. I guess we'll just finish them. Do you guys want to finish them? I really just wanted to get to that part. We had to watch all that, but it's good that we're watching it. And there are a ton of other videos out there like this that people have never seen. Think about it. Fred was wired. Dawn gets it. Fairy bag. Jody and Andy leaves Ben Hill. Then Fred gets busted. Yeah. You want to finish them? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Or something like that, but there fucking was, right? So, and I don't say any of these things to rehash it because I can't let go, but it's all part of the fucking story and maybe it helps somebody else. Um, because at this point, these things don't mean anything to me. They're just part of what led me to where I'm at, and I'm still trying to figure out how and why I'm on it. And I have for years. I've tried to look back at these moments to try to figure out how in the hell, because they're all part of the puzzle. Because if I could always, I mean, like, I puzzled over them to try to figure out how to pull those strings apart to get the fuck out. And maybe somebody else looking in that's in the same situation can use them to pull themselves out or to have aha moments with. Hell, I don't know. But even now, I have no idea how in the hell you form a codependent relationship with somebody you can't depend on. They're gone every other day, every other week for a year, 2 years. How in the hell do they keep you on a string while they're locked up for X amount of years? How in the hell do they just. I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of it. Um, and I still don't. Still don't. You know what's funny to me though? Voldemort was last.
Karen, they're like two of the same to me. That's why it really worries me that, like, we hear Fred say Jody accused him of R at the strip club. So we know that they were hanging out at the strip club together. He was going there to see her, right? Like, I don't know that we know that because Fred lies about everything. But Laura said that. Laura said Jody was booed off stage. I feel like Fred and Jody Sue had a friendship when Andy was at work. It worries me. It's an opinion. It's speculating, but you see all the strange behavior, all the strange relationships. Like, I'm estranged from a lot of my family. I started this live telling, or maybe it was last night's live. Oh, I'm so confused. Telling you all about my brother and our families distance, but we still, if we have to come together, we do. Like, it is awful, Lady R. I would like her sister to come answer to some of this. She won't, but she'll sit on Ziggy's panel under a different name, right? Mm-hmm. Why? Sounds just like her. We're gonna do that comparison one day. Bitch has never been back to Ziggy since. But she was Ziggy's best friend, modding for her for 2 years, Ziggy said.
Whatever's. It was this string of I'm gonna make something myself and make something live and blah 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 blah, you know. And I've wasted my years and saying I'm like, so it's like, man, I tried from the time I got there. I'm like, school, college, let's, retirement, because it was right. I mean, like, common sense, right? Life and just basics and how I was raised and whatever, but you never could get it to do anything. Like the simplest of shit to make life better or make sure, because it wanted to wallow in everything. And it wasn't the one that had been held back, it held itself back, but it also held me back. And it's like, it pisses me off because, like, Voldemort ain't one, like, unless my hands to it does for it, provides for it, it's never gonna do shit. It's not the one that's had its time ate and wasted in life, whatever, because that's what it's always gonna do. It is wasted and ate and took from everybody else. And so it's fucking laughable to hear it say that, you know. But, and that's the thing, that's how I knew in the last, days and weeks that it had found somebody it thought could give it something, or that the birth bringers promised it things and stuff that appealed to greed if it would, and manipulated it that way. Because that's the only time it'll truly do what it's done this, and when it figures it out, all hell's gonna break loose. When everybody else gets tired of that shit again, when there's, it'll, and that's what nobody understands. That's why we still aren't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But greed and things and possessions are the only thing that appeal to it. Especially if somebody's just giving because they think it's a victim and it's not had and poor little it and it can lure away with it. I mean, like, and the birth bringers know this too, so it's like whatever. But when it says that, I know what it means. It means somebody's handing too. Anyway, I find it laughable, and also kind of pisses me off because it literally ate all of my time until it thought.
Oh, here she goes. She's pointing to her being shot. Yeah, DV actually became frowned upon and received proper outrage when Nicole Simpson Brown was murdered. Though it was a problem for astronomical numbers of years of prior, it's no longer overlooked. It's not. But here's my thing, and I'm not saying Andy has admitted to abusing Jody Sue, but I still feel like it was an abuse between the two of them, like they was throwing fists. Maybe Andy hit first, but I just do not see Jody Sue not protecting herself. Oh yeah, I think that's in the next part of this. Or no, it's in the other set of black and white videos where she talks all about court and how Andy's parents tried to run her over and there was a fight in court. Now, I did tell you guys, and she mentioned it. I did hear people on the phone talking about Andy said he didn't claim his daughter or something like that. I was on the phone with her when he said that, but it appeared to me that he was angry in court and they were battling in court back and forth. And I really don't want to get into the private details of a counselor of the court talking to Jody Sue because she'll start all kinds of shit. But it did say that her and Andy had problems, but that call also told me that Jody Sue is a bitch. You know? Yeah, they do get filed. Okay, hold on.
You know. And this is definitely part of why this has happened the past year and a half. It used to this, oh, poor me. She's died. Oh, gosh, I care about her so much. Like, somebody that would have cared about me would have never done any of these things to me in the first place. And for that motherfucker to ever use that line of, well, I don't want to stay and watch you dinosaur is laughable as well. But I know it's used around town with other people. But it's laughable because nobody really cares about somebody else what it's done to me or them. And I can promise you that it doesn't. It's a line for it. It's a way to pull pity. It's a way to whatever. But it is the one that has.
But that's the thing, Jody Sue. Like, that's what you're not seeing. This is what us as outsiders, at least from my perspective, that I'm seeing is you're the one acting like the victim. You're the one on here trying to pull pity. And I don't disagree that you deserve it. And I don't disagree that domestic violence is a serious, serious thing. Okay. But what you're doing is not supporting women of domestic violence. You're bringing this man out and trashing the shit out of him, which tells me you're not really that scared of him. That's just my opinion. Will do, Josh. We're not done yet. We got a couple parts.
Wasted my time in life until that clock's tick, tick, ticking. It's the one that ate and took. And I'm the one that would have had a real fucking life if not for. And that's pretty shitty on a whole. And I find it kind of humorous though. Till it figured it had eaten everything, and then I was done. I wasn't a good source because I'd shut down this year. I wouldn't even dig even as much hitting and dropping as it was doing, blatant outing itself. And then the plan wouldn't work. I mean, it's just so wild, the whole damn thing. Oh, but right now, I mean, I find myself every day wanting some sort of way to figure out what timeline I'm working on so I can see if there's tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. So I can know for a fact what type of.
Squall had no subs. Okay, very little, maybe 10, when Jody Sue did her interview with her. She was already in contact with Penny. She was already in contact with Tiffany Marie. She was already all through the Facebook groups. Why does she pick Squall's small channel to go on? That's questionable to me.
Life and how long is left to me. And I find myself wondering if I can stay here. Um, the past few days, I find myself angry because I now realize what's happening again. I'm in a box. I'm in another goddamn box that Voldemort has complete control over. Make no mistake about it.
So here she is saying Voldemort has complete control over her family and she needs to get out of there. He put her in another box with her own family. But I'm not supposed to question her sister's intentions? None of us are supposed to? Now that you guys go back and listen to just a little bit of this, what do you think?
None. Exactly where I'm supposed to be again. And I can't. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And all I want to do is just run and run and run and run and vanish off the face of the earth.
Again, that's freaking sad. That's how she feels about her family. While they get on YouTube and trash her, talk shit on her, talk about somebody in cars are following her and taking pictures of her. Spiky. They sure did. Or if they didn't leave, they're over in Ziggy's chat. Mm-hmm.
Because for the rest of its life, it'll know that I'm in this box and it will jerk off on that and it will know exactly where I'm at. And I cannot stomach that thought. It's control. It's still controlling me. It's still controlling me. I'm in where I am where I am because it has put me here and it's thinking, and I know that it thinks it's being cruel by where I'm at, but it's not what it thinks currently. But I mean, like, it thinks because of situations and certain people that it means that I'm in hell. But I'm not. Um, so it's probably somewhere going.
So because she's with her family, she's saying Andy made it so that she has to be with her family and it's hell. It's complete hell being there. At least that's what Andy thinks. But no, that ain't it. But around certain people, would that be Spiky? Jody? Why aren't you demanding answers from your sister? I feel like this is a collaborative effort here, in my opinion.
Laughing to itself. But I tell you, that's not the case. Uh, Here, like it wants, like it thought it was doing. So, but either way, I am where I am because it strikes me as it has put me here. That's how it struck me the past few days. I don't like that feeling, not one bit. And I don't like facing the thought that it's going to know for the rest of my life and theirs where the fuck we're at. It's going to be able to see and keep an eye on them, even though they don't want that. I'm not real happy right now with that thought. Any of them. Y'all, I can't stay here. I can't. And that was a hell of many videos to get to that point. But you go and say, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to make that. I don't know how to make this work. Because pissed off me wants to be like, fuck you. This is mine. And you're not going to take this from me, too. Because.
And like for some reason, she has it in her head that Andy's going to take her papa's land, her grandfather's land. Right? For real, Helen. Right, Heather. But it's all because her flying monkeys, her family, are working with Andy, is what she's saying. Yeah, I think everybody covering, following, looking at Summer's case needs to question this. especially with all the fuck shit that came out. This is why I contacted Spiky. The weird shit like this she was saying.
Safe. And if I stay, it always knows where we are. And we're in the box. And even during whatever the fuck happens to it, whatever type of life it leads, I'm exactly where the fuck I'm supposed to be. Right? Yeah. Can't live like that. And I don't think I'm going to. But what the fuck the solution is to that right now, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm definitely trying to find something in some way because I can't do this. I'm not going to. And I won't, you know, I'm still like, I'm gonna find a way to do both things. Not be in the box, but also not let it take from me what it thinks it's going to if I run jet.
Like, that's so weird. He's gonna take your family, your land. Like, y'all are family. You got babies together. You should be using your family as a support to help him see his kids and to make all of y'all grow and be better people. But you sit on your panel and say, I'm miserable. I have no happiness in my life with my husband, and we're drug dealers, and we're this and we're that. You're accusing me of playing fuck shit in the marathon shit and with all these people while you're the one who there's tons of proof out there. You're in a Discord, you're working with these people, you're talking to them. Your sister's coming up here, chicken on a stick's coming up here, filing fake lawsuits, which is filed under real estate instead of under the harassment she tried to sue for, right? Not even signed by a judge, by the way. I have the papers. That who asked me about a fake lawsuit earlier? There you go.
I'm gonna find a way because I'll be damned if it's gonna take my family or the place my pet like again, or if it's gonna keep me in a box. And there has to be a solution to that, and I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. But I don't like this. So I'm gonna find a solution. In a very short amount of time because this nope. Nope, nope, nope. I've already got too many pieces dropping for my future and to ensure that in a very short
What were them pieces? Because we're 3 years in and you're still sitting over there on your channel trashing everybody, putting down everything. You're miserable. You are nothing but miserable, Jody Sue. Miserable. People try to help you, they try to be there for you. You don't let them. There has to be a reason for it. Even when people are nice to you, you're ignorant. Everybody's a tragedy pimp. Everybody's tried to hurt you. You think the world's against you. I think you need some fucking Prozac and a therapist and an aluminum foil hat.
amount of time. So I'm gonna have to rearrange to make sure that everything's quickly. But yeah, I'm no longer gonna have strings and calls and them or for the rest of my life. Or I'm not gonna do it, and it's not gonna take from them again. So
Don't make threats like that, Hattie. She'll think you're standing outside her door right now taking pictures. She'll accuse you of all kinds of shit without calling the police, by the way. All these people harassing her, but she'll never call the police on them. That's weird. Fake FBI agents, no police called? She's something, Heather.
And here is
All right, this is the last one.
and here is a small thing, and I know I'll put it in another video, but I know that I have that video on another memory card that, and I have not posted that video. Even up until that last night, that last sled coming out there, I was a dumbass because my heart said, even though it was Voldemort, I would show one kindness. And the kids were opposed.
Listen to how she explains her act of kindness. This is sad.
And I'm sure Voldemort sees it as some sort of slide, because Voldemort sees everything as a fucking slide. Or somebody's against, or somebody's doing something. But let me tell you what I did. There are these two particular photos that were hanging in a room of the house that I had printed and had done enlarged and framed. And Voldemort's in them. And one of the during the period where Voldemort was a decent, normal human being for a few years, I thought it was over. And our son thought it was over. And the tiniest human had not met the fucking monster yet. These two beautiful pictures of that I no longer have the stomach to look at and cut anyway, but I do possess. They're on my memory cards, so I knew from that point forward when I pulled out that last load that I knew before that, like, and even though in court it was, I'll see them if they want to see me when I'm an adult, like they're back in fucking cash, just toss up. Not like he's anyway, right? But it's still offensive as a mother hearing a grown man say that to our daughter, even though she didn't want to see him and still doesn't. I mean, shit like that hurts children, but he had no problem even in court saying it. And
So it was a year later that I spoke to her when a counselor from the social worker, whatever it was from court, was on the phone with her while I was speaking to her. But this is what they were talking about. I guess there was a fight in the courtroom, and Andy said he didn't want to see his daughter anymore. And I heard the court reporter say that. That's what I can contest to. Other than that, I don't know that anything else that happened in court is true or not. While she's over there saying, "Oh, will you listen to me?" I feel like she feels slighted by me But there's only so many times you can take someone talking shit on you while you're trying to be nice to them and help them. And the fact that she doesn't want the help, like the help, she doesn't want to make friends. I'm not sitting here forcing anybody to be my friend. I have lots of friends in my real life. Okay? I don't need to be your friend, Jody Sue. You have made the internet feel sorry for you. People were trashing you, putting your name through the mud. I was stopping at, I was sending you the information. All these screenshots you're reading on my wall is the same thing I done already fucking sent you. And you know that. And you're acting like you never seen them while you were demanding that shit from me. You wanted to know what I had. Why? Before court. Fuck you, bitch.
People didn't have a problem chuckling at it like it was cute, or like it was further, like hearing any grown man say that should have struck everybody in there. What the fuck is wrong with you? But instead, he's the victim, right? He's the one done wrong. It's mom is, um, and nobody realizing they're being used to further abuse a fucking victim, the real fucking victim, and to hurt a child that's already been hurt enough, even more. Um, wasn't a joke to us. So anyway, but even then, even after that, even after him, I still went. He's never gonna have pictures of these two again. I hold them all. I have them all. I mean, he'll have what birth bringers and all them taken throughout the year. On very rare occasions, they see them. But he won't have. That's it. It's done. He'll never have pictures of these two again, and he'll damn sure not have any with him in them as children, because one's now grown and the other one, I guess, those parenting classes I asked for where maybe he could be a better parent. And honestly, it wasn't even just that. Like, by this point, I knew that there was potentially other children involved. Uh, it was maybe to, like, help them, because I give a fuck less about coleslaw, but dumbass me does give a fuck about other children. Uh,
And other than these videos, there are other videos in these sets of videos where she's worried about he's going to kill someone else's children, but we're not supposed to worry about him in Summer. Andy's not guilty. Now, I really, to this day, don't think Andy is guilty of anything, okay? But, like, what the fuck? Does any of this make sense? The sister's keeping her in a box, the family's keeping her in a box, they're all flying monkeys. Sounds to me like they have some kind of control over her, like a conservatorship or something. Like, it doesn't make sense. She has. And she comes online and says shit like this. She was leaving these videos unprivated for long periods of time for people to see them. She wanted to put out there that Andy was this monster. I honestly don't know what's going on between Spiky, Jody, Andy, Chicken on a Stick, Squall. However, as you see over the last 2 years, you're getting to learn this one's related. They actually do know each other. That one's related. And it's funny to me that they all came out here acting like they had something to hide. Well, you know what? I have something to say now. And I'm fucking saying it. There's something wrong with the whole picture here. And I'm calling it the fuck out.
but maybe, like, something would hit, and maybe he could try to make a relationship with. I mean, never alone. I promise you that. Like, unless it's supervised. and she wanted it and whatever. But to make sure maybe something would hit and he wouldn't end up hurting somebody else's children. But that's gonna happen. I promise you. Like if he'll do this to ours, he'll do it to somebody else's. Easier, quicker.
That's another thing. My husband's black, my daughter's black. All of her friends are half and half or black, just about. And they come in here and sit with me and listen to her and they laugh. The other day they were watching the Black Lives Matter shit and they said they wish a bitch would. You know what I mean? Like my daughter was like, she's sick. Black people don't agree with you, Jody. Stop it.
But everybody thought it was a joke or me just picking at Voldemort asking for fucking parenting classes, I guess. Or drug classes, even though there was. Because the drugs make him worse. They take away very little empathy spots he has. And I know that. Not a goddamn doctor, but just a little bit of knowledge lets you know what certain things like pills he's on that everybody wants to hand him. Take from you and hit. You can't do that with somebody like that has very little anyway. And we'd all begged these people to stop. Stop handing him these. That it made him worse. I didn't give a fuck. Just like I didn't give.
But didn't you say he just does green? He just smokes? Like that has changed so many times. You make these accusations, you throw them out there, you make people think things about him. That's why he's being accused of things. And then you go back and say, no, Voldemort wouldn't do that. The truth is the truth. But you make statements that make people think shady of him. So what's the truth? Like, why are you all doing this fuck shit?
Fuck behind him shit that made it so dangerous for us that holy shit every day was living fucking terror. Still is. Like I'm 30 feet from a goddamn roadway. Do they give a fuck? Hell no. Hell no they don't. But anyway, my dumbass heart went these are gonna be the last, probably only photos that will ever have Vit in these two in a moment of time that I know that it didn't like and I left him on that wall for Voldemort to have. Because they would be his last. No one didn't even give a damn about them. I left those two pictures because he might at some point, some piece of humanity in him, want them or look at them and be reminded of some points we all thought he could be different.
So here she is saying she's hoping Andy's seen these pictures and he would come back to her. That's what this sounds like to me. But she's so scared of him and doesn't want his kids around her. And I believe these tears are real. But then she'll go on to say, well, she doesn't give a shit about Andy. Like there's so many of these videos. Most of her black and white videos are about Andy and Summer. The colored ones are about the marathon. She has a way of grouping her videos.
Or that moment in time where he had been different for so long. Maybe at some point before he fucking dies of old age somewhere, he has an aha moment of what the potential was, what he truly did to other human beings.
You know what it is? I see life in her eyes. And I do have moments of hardship for her. You know what I mean? But I just feel like she brings her own misery. Like, she causes this and she does fake cry. Watch how fast these tears bind up. She wipes them once and they're gone. You could watch her on certain dates when she'll come out, especially attacking me. She'll try to make people feel sorry for her and she squeezes the tears out. And then all of a sudden, it's one tear and the tear is gone. She doesn't show pictures of Summer. At the beginning of this, for the first 2, 3 months, none of it was about Summer. It was all about Andy and how bad Andy was. She gave no shits about Summer. All she wanted was people to send her money, send her to hotels. The hotels wasn't good enough. Then you got these fake feds she's not calling police on. I'm sorry. I don't know what the interconnections of them are. And I can guess. I could tell you guys what I think, but I can't tell you for sure who's connected where. But I can tell you something ain't fucking right here. And I'm just going to keep saying it. Yep, the timing of it all.
To true people who truly loved him, wanted the best for him, tried to build him up, tried to build a life with. In those brief few years where you know, that could have been the whole life. Oh, but I knew those would be it for Baltimore. So I left him. I left him to be kind because I have a fucking heart.
She leaves pictures of memories of him to torment him so he'll know that he never has pictures of his children again with him in them, but it was her being kind. Jody Sue, you're demented.
Even though I knew it could mean that at some point down the road I'd look at him and it would maybe dwell on him like it does everything else. And then
Yeah, I would never say she doesn't have cancer. I believe she has cancer. She has videos of her in the cancer office getting treatments. She definitely had cancer. Now, does she still have it? I don't know. She could be in remission. She definitely had it. So let's try to refrain from, saying medical problems are fake and DV is fake because I believe it's all true. I just feel like there's more to it.
come for my kids again. And the thing, maybe the kids know it too. Maybe I made the wrong decision. Maybe it'll remind them of it and it'll come back for them. Especially after I'm gone. Oh, I don't know. But that was my last act of kindness. And maybe my last moment of stupidity.
All right, guys. So, do you all understand now why it is I'm questioning her sister? She did say that, Joe. I have tons and tons of videos of her just like this, just like what you guys are saying she said. I've tried not to bring them out lately in the last 2 years. I didn't want to do this, but she wanted me to show proof. Like she demanded it yesterday in her live. So I'm doing this at her request. Okay? Her sister don't get along with her. No, but they keep her, Joe. How does that make sense? She lives on their property in their trailer. They pay her bills. She drives their vehicles, but they don't get along. Or is that fake on YouTube? I just see a lot of weird with all of this. Oh, I have all three of them, I think, Joe. We'll get there. I've been on for 3 hours and 25 minutes. I was on 4 hours last night. My grandkids are laying, like running around. My son keeps coming in. Right. Best supporting actor. And why doesn't she cover the DV? Like I said to her, that wasn't meant to be rude. She went and took it all crazy. I was like, hey, this would be great for Jody Sue to cover. P. Diddy dragging Cassie. Like, you would think that's what she wanted to do since she's on here saying, I'm here for DV survivors. Unfortunately, I would love to cover that shit. And I don't mean this to be rude to Yins, but people want to see about Jody Sue and Fred. They don't want to see that shit. People want to see Jody Sue for that shit because that's what she claims she does. So why isn't she doing it? If that's what she's here for. And then she changed it. No, I'm out to hunt the tragedy pimps. Well, unfortunately, Jody Sue, you're on that list. And now you're trying to make your way in the Sebastian's case, just like the rest of them, by criticizing the creators that are covering Sebastian's. While you live where you live in the area of Summer Wells, not covering her, not sharing her face, not really sharing any real moral support for domestic violence survivors. I think you're a fucking big fake ass fraud. That's my opinion. And one day somebody's going to get to the bottom of it with all of you. She's sus about something. I wouldn't say that it's Summer, but that marathon, the amount of fuckery she pulled in the marathon. But then here's the thing, all these people were related to Fred, right? Like, I think it's time we crack down and start demanding answers from the locals that have played funny shit in this game. And I don't mean, and I take this as a game. I feel like they are treating Summer's case like a game. You know? Biggest. She come out, I'm going to auction off my shirt that I searched for Summer in. That's sick. Why don't you just donate $50 and shut the fuck up? Why do you got to get yourself so intertwined? You seen in the thing she said in Tiffany Marie, she was more concerned about her and her children being ripped off than she was Summer's reward fund. Yes, fake for YouTube. And I think we have a right to question this shit. With all of them. I think Jody Sue knows Scott from outside of YouTube. I do. No, not BK. He's not related to Fred Joe. Chicken on a Stick is. The Lights are. The Crawfords are. I always seem to trigger her. And you know what it is? It's because she knows I'm fucking right. She knows I ask the hard questions. I'm not on here pussyfooting. And that's why they have all shut me up and have tried to silence me and not let me speak and let me point this shit out. Because they know that I see what I see. I'm in the messages telling Jody Sue, like, hey, this shit ain't right. And she's trashing me. I'm sticking up for her. Chicken on a stick is in Squall's thing saying this. She's on your page. Hurry up, block your Facebook page, Jody. I'm trying to like give her a sense of support, not because I wanted to be her friend. I just thought what the whole world was doing to her was awful after she's on there claiming everything Andy did. But there's a bigger picture here. And it needs to be looked at. As much as she doesn't want us to look at these videos and she doesn't want them shared, it tells the bigger picture. So, you know what? I'll be sharing them every now and again now. Okay? Since she gave me permission and demanded that I show what I'm lying about. So I just did that. Sorry, it wasn't a stab, it was a shot. Oh my God, that's even worse, right? Right. 6 degrees of separation. Absolutely. Nope, she's not cleared. And I'm done. I have no more need for her. She's the one that has a need for needful things, right? Yeah, Helen, I talked about Carly's case last night. Watch my live. I gave some insight on that. All right, guys, but it's noon. I actually did sleep. I'll probably fall asleep tonight about 5 or 6 because I took a very long nap yesterday. I want to come back tonight and finish going over what I was going over last night with the sisters and Fred stuff. That should finish that up. And then we're going to move on a little bit. I don't know. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas if there's some clips and things you want to see. I mean, I think. Fine, you're leaving. Aw. I just think there's a whole lot to see here, and we have to go back and look at this old shit. Like with new eyes. Now that we know who all these people are that came here, and it's been 3 years for us all to sit down and watch it all, I think we should go back, rewatch it, and watch the groups. I mean, but that's all I've been doing for the past 3 years, you know. And Chase, yeah, well, you hear her sister on the panel where she's with Benny and Tiffany and all of them say that she knows Rolf was Sean, but Rolf isn't related to Chase. But didn't cracking cases prove that they are related? But Tiffany just let that comment slide and ignored it. After all the shit she did in the marathon. Oh, the penny this and penny that. Her and Benny got quiet when the Linda lawsuit came out, right? Why is that? I have questions about that. They were quiet before Benny went to jail. Definitely something going on. And I promise you, somebody's going to get to the fucking bottom of it. Facebook streams, yep. If you get a chance, read my comment on the last live. Will do. It may not be right now. You can hear my grandson screaming in the background. Aw. Thank you, Josh. So how did Squall know to record off her Facebook? Right. That's what I'm saying. Like Squall's going through all her videos. That was prior to me taking any of them. I haven't even watched probably 90% of the videos I uploaded. And I don't even have probably 80% of those right now because because of all the fuckery they done. I've lost so much shit quitting, coming back, quitting. You see, I've been at it for 3 months now. I ain't fucking going nowhere. And I want you all to know that. I don't give a fuck. Bring your lawsuits, talk your shit, threaten me, silence me. Do whatever it is you have to do. I'm still pointing this shit out any way I can if I have to come back under anonymous. Okay, bitches? I hope you all know that. I want Summer found. That's why I'm here, and yins are all done playing fucking games in this shit. Oh, Fred video. Yeah, I promised I would do that. Hold on before I go. 1 second here, guys. When this is over, I'm just going to get off. I will see you guys later tonight, I hope. I'm not making promises, but that's what my goal is.
Charge. Start your comeback today at PurdueGlobal.edu.
Yesterday, this was splotchy paint Greg. But today, he's artiste of gar.
Fred's my name, a hillbilly with a cold. Always high, always looking for his next load. Snitching on everyone, causing a commotion. In this little county, where secrets aren't safe from the notion. Living in a trailer with a mind full of weed. Fred's always scheming, planting bad seed. His YouTube creator wife, they're a team ripping folks off. It's all part of their twisted dream. Fred's got a drug problem, ain't no doubt about that. Cocaine and meth, they got him hooked, that's a fact. He'll snitch on his mama, his cousin, and his brother. No one's safe from Fred, he's like no other. He's like no other. Got him hooked, that's a fact. No snitch on his mama, his cousin and his brother. No one's safe from Fred, he's like no other.